Welcome back to The Deep Dive, where we unpack the sources behind the world's biggest ideas. And today, we are tackling a creature that is, well, everywhere.
It really is. I mean, it's a creature recognized in virtually every culture on Earth.
But the dragon. But the strange thing is, everyone knows what it is, but nobody can agree on what it is.
That's the core of it, isn't it? The divide is just massive. It's fundamentally two different beings that share the same name.
Right, so you got the Western dragon, the one we see in most fantasy films.
Exactly. Winged, horned, breathes fire. And critically, its main motivation since the Middle Ages is just greed. It sits on a pile of gold.
It's the ultimate villain, the thing the hero has to slay.
But then you go to the East, and it's a complete 180. The Chinese long it's a symbol of wisdom, of good fortune.
A bringer of rain, so a benevolent force of nature. No wings, typically, just this long serpentine body.
So that's our mission for this deep dive, to get into the sources and figure out how we ended up with these two completely different ideas. Where does the dragon, the original dragon, actually come from?
I think we have to start with the word itself, right? The etymology.
It's the best place to start, and it gives us our first big clue. The English word dragon comes to us through French and then Latin, draco.
But the real origin is Greek. Draken.
And draken originally just meant huge serpent. That's it.
So no fire, no wings, no treasure, just a really, really big snake.
And it gets even more specific. The Greek root is probably darkomai, which means icy. The idea was that this creature had a deadly glance, or maybe just eyes that were always open.
Like a snake's. Their eyelids are fused, so they always look like they're staring. That's unsettling.
It is, and it leads straight into one of the big theories of origin, the universal fear hypothesis.
This is from anthropologist David E. Jones.
Right. He basically argued the dragon is a kind of psychological fossil. It's a composite blueprint of the three major predators that hunted our earliest ancestors.
So you take a snake.
Add the teeth and claws of a big cat and the predatory nature of a bird of prey. You mash them all together in our inherited instincts, and you get a dragon.
And the places we imagine dragons living. That supports this, doesn't it?
It really does. The sources always put them in dangerous liminal spaces. Dark caves, deep pools, wild mountain reaches. Anywhere an early human would feel vulnerable.
Okay, so that's the instinct theory. But what if it wasn't just in our heads? What if people were actually finding things?
And that's the fossil hunter hypothesis from Adrienne Mayer. She suggests that at least some of these stories, especially in places like northern India or China, might have been inspired by people digging up dinosaur bones.
You unearth a T-Rex skull, you're not going to think prehistoric animal, you're going to think
monster. You're going to think giant serpent with legs and terrifying teeth. And we know this happened. I mean, even today in China, some of these fossils are still called dragon bones and used in traditional medicine.
But that can't be the whole story, can it?
No, it's not a universal answer. Mayer herself points out that Scandinavia, for instance, is absolutely full of dragon legends.
Right.
You know, Fafnir, the Midgard serpent.
Huge one.
Right. But it's not a place known for massive fossil beds. So the myths exist even without the bones.
Then there's one more theory, the atmospheric one.
Yeah, from Robert Blust. He connects dragons to weather, to pre-scientific attempts to explain things like rainfall and drought. The dragon becomes the mechanism, and the rainbow is often its physical manifestation.
So whether it's our own fear, bones in the ground, or the storm clouds gathering, the dragon is how we gave a face to the things that terrified and controlled us.
And when we look at the ancient Near East, that's where we see this fear get formalized into the great enemy, the chaos monster.
The chaos scamp, the battle against chaos.
It's the foundational myth of the West. And you see it so clearly in Egypt with the serpent Apep, or Apophis.
He's this enormous snake in the underworld, the Duat.
And the sun setting every night isn't just an astronomical event. It's the sun god, Ra, descending into the underworld to fight Apep every single night.
And if that battle is ever in doubt.
You get a solar eclipse. That was Apep attacking Ra during the day. It was a cosmic crisis, the potential end of all order.
But Egyptian snakes weren't all bad, were they?
No, not at all. It's complex. They also had Nehebkau, another massive serpent who was so big the world was said to rest on his coils. But he helped Ra fight Apep. So one serpent is chaos, the other is a pillar of creation.
Which explains how the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, could be a symbol for eternity.
Exactly. And when medieval alchemists adopted that symbol, they started drawing it as a winged, four-legged dragon. You can literally see the symbol of infinity merging with the monster archetype.
Okay, moving over to Mesopotamia. They had a whole bestiary of these things. The mushu.
The furious serpent. And what a creature. It has the body of a snake, but the front legs of a lion and the back legs of a bird. A true hybrid and a symbol of powerful gods like Marduk.
And then there's the big one, Tiamat.
Tiamat, the goddess of the chaotic saltwater ocean in the Babylonian creation story, the Enuma Elisha. She is essentially the primal dragon mother, a monstrous serpent whose hide no weapon can pierce.
And she has to be defeated for the world to be made.
The god Marduk has to kill her and slice her body in half to create the heavens and the earth. Order is literally built from the corpse of chaos. This is the theme.
We see that same theme everywhere, don't we? The storm god versus the sea monster.
It's all over the place. In the Levant, you have Yahweh slaying Leviathan, the coiling serpent. And Job 41 gives this incredible description of it, breathing fire and smoke. It's basically a dragon.
And Leviathan, or its synonym Rahab, even became a symbol for enemy nations, like Egypt.
Yes, the mythological chaos monster becomes a stand-in for a real-world political enemy.
At the same time, in India, you have the storm god Indra fighting the giant serpent Vutra.
Vutra is holding back all the waters, causing a catastrophic drought. So Indra uses his thunderbolt, his Vajra, to slay him and release the rivers.
It's the same story.
It's the same core myth. Scholars have even reconstructed a Proto-Indo-European version where a hero named Tritos kills a three-headed serpent called Enhai to get back stolen cattle.
So it always comes back to a hero slaying a serpent to release some vital resource, water, cattle, or later on.
Or later on, treasure. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon isn't just evil, it's a hoarder. It's the thing standing between civilization and what it needs to survive.
Okay, but now we have to go to East Asia because everything we've just said gets turned completely on its head.
It is a total reversal. The Chinese Long is not a chaos monster. It is a source of divine order, of imperial power, and most importantly, of life-giving rain.
They were the ultimate creature, the highest ranking in the whole animal hierarchy.
And people had a very pragmatic relationship with them. If there was a drought, it was because a dragon was being lazy or was offended.
And the rain-making rituals are just amazing. You don't pray to the dragon. You annoy it.
You provoke it. The sources describe people making clay figures of the dragon, or dancing, or throwing dirt and refuse into the dragon's pool.
Why on earth would you do that?
Because dragons apparently are very tidy. They can't stand filth in their homes. So they would create a massive downpour just to wash the junk out of their pool.
That is an incredible way to interact with a god. It's so transactional.
It is. But this power also meant the dragon was tied directly to the emperor. He was considered the dragon's incarnation on Earth.
And only the emperor could wear the image of the five-clawed dragon. For anyone else, it was a death sentence.
Which leads to these fantastic little anecdotes that show a more human side to it all. Like the story of Lu Lai, who was a dragon trainer for Emperor Kongjia.
A dragon trainer?
Yes, but one of his dragons died. So not knowing what else to do, he secretly cooked it and served it to the emperor.
No.
Yes. And the emperor said it was the most delicious thing he'd ever eaten and demanded more. Lu Lai, of course, had to flee for his life.
I love that. And then there's the story of Lord Yagao, the guy who was obsessed with dragons.
Covered his entire house in dragon carvings, dragon paintings, everything. He just loved them.
So a real dragon heard about this great admirer and decided to pay him a visit. Popped its head through the window.
And Lord Yi fled in absolute terror. It's a great little cautionary tale. It's one thing to love the idea of power. It's another thing to face it.
So true. Now, what about in Korea? They have their own distinct version.
They do, often with a longer beard and also associated with water. But they have this fascinating proto-dragon stage, the emojis.
So they aren't born as full dragons.
No, an emoji is a hornless lesser dragon, like a giant serpent. It has to survive for 1,000 years, or it has to catch a mythical orb called the Yuiju.
The Sintamani orb.
Right. If it catches the orb, it instantly transforms into a true dragon, with all the powers of creation that come with it. This idea of ascension is really strong. The great King Munmu even wished to be reborn as a dragon to protect his kingdom from the sea.
And in Vietnam, it goes even deeper. The people themselves are.
Children of the dragon, grandchildren of the fairy, their whole creation myth stems from the union of a dragon lord and a fairy princess. The dragon isn't just a symbol of power, it's their direct ancestor.
Which brings us back full circle to Europe, where the dragon's journey ends in a very different place. It's not chaos, it's not a god.
It's just a monster, a greedy, covetous monster that exists for one reason, for a hero to kill it and prove his worth.
And the Germanic sagas really cement this idea of the dragon as a treasure hoarder.
Fafnir is the classic example from Norse myth. He wasn't even born a dragon. He was a dwarf who transformed into one because of his insatiable greed for accursed treasure.
And the hero, Sigurd, kills him by stabbing him in his soft belly from underneath.
But the key part is what happens next. Sigurd tastes the dragon's blood, and suddenly he can understand the language of birds. And the birds warn him that his own mentor is planning to betray him. Slaying the dragon leads to a kind of hidden knowledge, a moral revelation.
That theme feels even stronger in Beowulf. That whole final act is so tragic, it all kicks off because one slave steals a single cup from the dragon's hoard.
And the dragon just unleashes hell on the whole kingdom. Beowulf, now an old king, has to fight it. He succeeds with Wiglaf's help, but he's mortally wounded.
And the treasure?
The treasure is cursed. Beowulf's final command is that it all be buried with him. His other warriors were cowards who ran, so they're not worthy of it. The gold has brought nothing but death.
So the dragon's horror isn't a reward, it's a moral trap.
It's a test, and they fail it. The dragon in the West becomes a way to explore the corrupting nature of greed.
This image gets even darker after the classical period, when it gets tied up with Christianity.
Right. The Book of Revelation calls Satan the Great Red Dragon. After that, the identification was sealed. The dragon becomes the physical embodiment of evil on Earth.
And that gives us the ultimate dragon slayer, St. George.
The famous story from the Golden Legend isn't really a straight-up fight, though. George shows up in this town in Libya where a dragon is demanding human sacrifices.
He confronts it.
But he doesn't kill it right away. He wounds it, makes a sign of the cross, and the beast becomes docile. He puts the princess's belt around its neck like a leash and leads it into town.
So he tames it.
He does. And he only kills it after the entire population agrees to convert to Christianity. The dragon is a tool for evangelism.
As this all becomes part of medieval culture, they start getting really specific about the biology.
Oh, incredibly specific. In heraldry, a true dragon had to have exactly 4 legs. If it had 2 legs and wings, that was a wyvern, a different beast altogether.
And then you get the really weird relatives, like the cockatrice.
Get ready for this. A cockatrice is born when a serpent hatches an egg that was laid by a rooster on a pile of manure.
That's absurd.
And its gaze or breath is instantly lethal. And then there's the basilisk, which is even more convoluted. It's born when a toad hatches an egg laid by a 9-year-old cockatrice.
It sounds like a game of telephone with monsters.
It's pure medieval monster making. They just kept adding layers of unnatural, ridiculous biology to make them seem more and more profane.
So, after this whole journey, what have we learned? The dragon has gone from this world-shaping chaos serpent to a wise rain god, and ended up as a greedy monster guarding a cave full of gold.
It is probably the most adaptable and enduring symbol in all of human mythology. And that's why it's still so powerful today. I mean, it is the emblem of the entire fantasy genre.
From Smaug in The Hobbit to, well, Dungeons and Dragons, it's the ultimate adversary, the ultimate prize.
It really is. The perfect canvas for our biggest stories about conflict, power, and morality.
You know, that original Greek word, draken, meant a snake and something more. And looking back at all this, maybe that's the best definition. The dragon is our attempt to personify those huge forces we can't control.
Whether it's the chaos of the ocean, the necessity of rain, or just the corrupting power of greed.
So we want to leave you with this final thought to take with you. When you think of a dragon, what deep fear or what deep desire does that creature represent for you? Is it chaos? Is it power?
Is it the untamed natural world we've lost, or the greed we fear is hiding inside us? It's a question worth thinking about.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of the dragon.